Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Woodland. This is the 11th session of Rootless, a game of might, right, and arson. My name is Kalanat. I will be your Woodland Whisperer, aka GM for the evening. Let's meet our voracious vagabonds. Duncan?
I am Kyle-Ott. I play Duncan, the Badger Arbiter. And my animal fact for today, lemurs. Thank you.
My name is Michael. I play Thelonious. He is from the Ronin playbook, and he's a cat. My animal fact is, so despite, words, fuck me.
Not on camera.
That's a great fact.
Almost
That's
as
my
good as
favorite.
fish. Almost as good as fish.
Yeah, fish remains the best one.
Right. So despite their quintessential contribution to the American markets, cattle do not have the right to unionize.
It's a different role-playing game. Cows with Guns is great.
I want to play that.
Reggie, your face.
I want to play
We're
this
just like,
game so bad.
Guns!
Cows with Guns.
Give it to me!
I just got a bunch of images in my head. They must come to life.
We will fight for bovine freedom. Oh, good lord.
Hello, I'm Megan. I play Cal, the Deer Tinkerer. For some reason, my camera's lighting up. I'm not going to do that. I just looked up and I was just like, brilliant. Just doing it again. What? Right. I think I just don't look down for the entire session. Hi, I am Megan. I play Cal, the Deer Tinkerer. My animal fact today is that sometimes pandas do handstands when they pee.
Same.
I did think about, like, have they figured out something that we haven't? But I'm pretty sure that the data's in and they haven't figured out anything that we haven't.
From what I was reading, it's literally just like that they want to mark onto trees sometimes for like mating season or territorial purposes. But like the higher it is up the tree, the better somehow. So they just do handstands to try and spray as high as they can. Just like, so.
Yeah, that makes sense, because the higher up the tree it is, the bigger I appear.
Yeah. But that's like a really weird like panda Tinder where it's just like you're just like walking along and it's like, oh my god, this male panda says he's like 8 foot, and then you like meet him in person and he's just like the smallest panda.
It's like real Tinder.
So that did not match your bio.
Hello, I am Reggie, also known as Rennie.Quiche on social media. I play our musical otter Zombie. My animal fact for today is that snails do not have tear ducts, therefore they cannot cry.
I think they're just not trying hard enough. Nobody's hurt their feelings for real. That's all it is.
They also haven't seen Helm's Deep. I think that's really what it is. If they'd seen Helm's Deep, they would have cried.
Alright, my name's Emily. I play Red, the Squirrel Scoundrel. And another animal fact that sounds made up but is actually not is that gray squirrels are remarkably good at generating heat by shivering.
Hi, I'm Lou. I play Rebecca. And my animal fact is that whilst snapping turtles are not inherently aggressive towards humans, they have a bite force of over 200 newtons, which is enough to take off your hand.
That is scary. Awesome. My animal fact is that newborn Chinese water deer are so small that they can be held in the palm of a hand. Cute little deer. Cool. So, last we left off, we saw the return of Duncan as well as the introduction of Drunken. The group came together for an emotional send-off for Thelonious' mother. Red learned a little bit more about Z's initiatives and about Ferv the Mouse, the leader of the Woodland Alliance, who's located at Blackpaw's Wall. And Z asked the group to escort him safely to Blackpaw's Wall. Cal also brought up Allison Swiss during the discussions, which is a contact that was mentioned to her by Sabian. And then the group sounded like they were leaning towards Blackpaw's wall, but wanted a bit more information. And so I think when we left off, you guys were looking to speak with Z and ascertain why exactly he needs an escort. And so that is where we will start today. I believe everybody is in the general store, if I'm not mistaken, but please feel free to correct me. Cool. Yeah, you guys are in the general store there with Z. If you guys need more time to discuss, I know you guys were sort of mid-discussion-ish, on the last session there. So if you guys need more time to discuss with each other, feel free to do so. If not, Z is just chilling in his armchair there on the ground floor.
Well, are we all agreed then? Should we get more information from Z? What else do you want to know?
I'm just happy I get to be involved still, to be honest. I'm not for nothing, and not that I haven't earned my place, but it's still just nice that I get to be with the rest of you. So, I mean, we can ask for more, but as long as you're all right with me darkening your doorstep and putting soup in your pot, and I'm all right with it.
I just want to know what the risks are and what he's asking us to do. Are we carrying a basket for him, or?
Bex?
What?
Do you have any thoughts about going to Blackpaw's wall?
About Blackpaw's wall specifically. My general thought is, why aren't we on the road yet? It's clear that Z needs something. It's clear he's uncomfortable talking about it. I'm very much comfortable with escorting someone who wants to keep secrets. I'm packed. I can go with the drop of a hat.
All right. Z, why do you need an escort to Blackpaw's wall?
He sort of like startles up from his chair. Ah, yes. Well, you see, how do I put this? Ferv is not a well-known name, at least not in the Woodland. Most people who think of the Woodland Alliance think of Z as the de facto leader. Ferv is not the most eloquent speaker, and nor is he the biggest brute. So, while he might be the brains of the operation, I tend to be the face, which can lead to some eyes coming my way. I just am looking for safe passage, and, well, I know that the Duchy and the Lizard Cult are frequent in the area, so any assistance would be appreciated. But, again, if you can't make it, it's no worry. I can still make it on my own.
You mentioned the Lizard Cult. I've only ever met one soft lizard, and it wasn't involved in a cult. I'd like to know a little more about them. I consider myself a bit of an expert on religious extremists, for obvious reasons.
Ah, sure. Well, the Lizard Cult, at least in this area, they're mostly sparse. Not a huge group here. But they do have acolytes that spread the message as best they can. And while they aren't particularly violent, the ones that you meet out on the road, well, they're a bit more zealous in their nature.
Oh, good. Zealots. My favorite. Anyone else? Thoughts?
I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. No secrets between friends.
No, that's nice.
Z, how comfortable are you not walking the open path? What if we went through the woodland proper?
Aye, that'd be fine with me. No problem. I'm happy to couple up with you wherever you see best fit.
That way we'd avoid most of the zealots.
It's not a terrible plan. And with your knowledge of the woods, it should help us a little bit. I do have a good question, though. Happy as I am to be involved in all of this. If you're the face of the Woodland Alliance, why not send for your soldiers? Why not send for your community leaders? Why rely on the kindness of strangers? Nice and kind though those strangers may be, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me.
A good question, and one that I understand a man of your, he like eyes your armor prowess would likely ask. Yes, the Woodland Alliance is a very, very small regime. We occupy one clearing. We don't have a lot of people, and there's really nobody for me to send for.
Don't have a lot of people, but yet you're still being pursued by two major factions?
We work in our own ways.
Got that right.
Small but mighty. Was that a pass?
You'll learn to live with it.
You realize I work for most of your lieutenants.
I don't. I don't see much of the lieutenants anymore, as you can imagine.
So what you're saying to me then is that you're isolated and you operate in cells. So you're a true guerrilla faction then, yes?
Aye.
Alright, that makes sense then. Alright, I'll go.
What about everyone else? Cal? Sambi? Philo?
Yeah, I'm into it.
You'll need somebody to maintain your equipment, so you'll need me to come along anyway.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how dangerous of a journey is this going to be?
Hard to say. I haven't been outside of this clearing for months. I've been in general dentistry.
Hasn't particularly stopped us before, even if it was dangerous. Just pointing that out.
He kind of looks like, stands up and looks out a window at like the carnage that is still out there, like bodies still being carted away, and then turns back to all of you and says, doesn't seem like much of a problem.
No. We're pretty good at this. Well, I am. Long history of violence. I'm working on it though, right, Sanvi?
You're doing a great job, Duncan.
Thanks.
High five.
I do what I can.
Well then, is it settled?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Thank you all. Sweet. So I want to have everyone make a travel move. Go ahead, what?
Oh, I love it. You guys want to go commit violence for the sketchy person you've never met before? Ah!
Hey, Red vouched, you know?
Feels like
Yeah, he's my friend.
Yeah.
Feels like a
My
Tuesday.
friend you're talking about.
Yeah, you're
We
sketchy.
are also incredibly sketchy people.
Oh, I'm aware. Listen, Duncan's not a
Facts.
hypocrite. Duncan knows what he's doing.
Before we have the travel move roll, everybody sees Cal sort of finishing some of her tinkering as everyone is, prepping their bags and getting their satchels ready for the journey. Cal is, of course, still tinkering. And I just wanted to cover the couple new items that Cal obtained, because throughout the last, 3 or 4 sessions, she has been acquiring goods of various different natures. And so I don't know if you want to, I don't know how much you want to tell people or what you don't want to tell people, but you do at least see Cal finishing her tinkering up on some of those components that she's collected.
I kind of assumed you'd introduce them. I can try, but I'll probably butcher it.
No, I'm
Out of character. I would love Duncan to introduce all of these just based on their appearance and explain them all really, really poorly.
Yeah, one of them looks like a series of strips of circuitry that have been woven together. And then there is a knot, maybe 7 feet. It's like a 7-foot long string of these thick corded braid of circuits. And then there's a knot at the top part of it, like a slip knot, and more of that cording that pulls off into a circular ring. And there are a series of different little magnets that are beating all around where that circle is.
Ah, yes. Fancy rope.
Yes, the fancy rope, aka the magnetic lasso. I will let you guys find out what it does through combat and all that good stuff. But the other thing
What could it do?
what could it do?
A magnetic lasso.
I just
Yeah.
love the idea though of just like Duncan coming over like, ah yes, fancy
Fancy
rope.
rope.
And then Cal's just there like, well, I took your intricacies and your doubts of rope pulleys and their significant differences into consideration, so...
I mean, we did have tinkerers in the Order. I imagine you're using this as what? A starting mechanism? Or is this to run power through something?
I don't know. I figured I'd just learn more as I go along, make alterations as needed.
Nah. The glory of improvised weaponry.
Yeah.
Makes me think back to my younger years.
And then there is one more item that Cal is finishing tinkering, and I would like for everybody to give me a cunning check as Cal finishes that item.
Question first. Our travel roll, do you want that now or
Well, just
later?
finish it up after.
Okay.
I just
'cause
wanted to cover the items that Cal got.
I have an 8 then for cunning.
9.
Yeah, with my modifier, that's a 9.
Another 3.
I'm the smartest man alive.
I have a 4.
Cool. So I think anyone that got above a 7, you don't necessarily notice anything huge, but you do see Cal's face kind of shift a little bit, as like less of a woohoo, I completed this thing, and more of like a what the hell. And then for Cal, as you finish putting that final element into, it looks like a little, like a Swiss Army knife looking thing. As you put that final core into there, you hear in the back of your head, "Master, you have awoken me."
What?
Guys, I think my cutlery is speaking to me.
It's been a
I
long
think
day,
your
Cal.
cutlery might be Batman.
You heard it as well? Oh, are we all just hearing sentient cutlery? What's going on?
It's been a long day, Cal.
And
Maybe I do need to sleep.
it says nothing else, just "Hello, Master. Thank you for awakening me."
I mean, could she just like hold it up and just be like, "Hello"?
What do I say as she's doing it?
It looks like a Swiss Army knife looking thing. It's got like clockwork and like bronzed etchings on like the sides of it. It's bigger than what a human Swiss Army knife would look like. And there are tons of little buttons and pulleys and springs and just like a fucking mess of shit piled into one tiny little ball.
Oh, neat.
Does it say anything when she tries to prompt another response, or
It does not. Nope, doesn't say anything.
And did we all hear it, or did just Cal hear it?
Just Cal would have heard it.
Okay, gotcha.
I think I need to lie down.
And no time to lie down. So we're gonna
Oh.
we're gonna move to the travel phase here. So the way that travel moves work, you can choose to either travel along the path or travel through the forest. So you guys are welcome to take a vote on that, or read into. I know some people have abilities that affect if you travel on a path versus if you travel on a forest. So feel free to vote / discuss amongst yourself what the best option might be. We'll just say that Z remains impartial. But yeah, you're going to roll to travel. If you roll poorly, then something bad happens in the middle of the travel. If you roll well, then you guys will get there fine. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
And as a general rules clarification for the good folks at home, does everyone make a roll for this and then it's the aggregate, or does this be like a designated party traveler?
So it's first we have to choose which way we want to travel, and then one person rolls for the whole group. So
Okay.
Yeah.
you can travel at a relaxing pace, an average pace, a relaxing pace, an average pace, or a very quick pace, and they all have different sort of modifiers and consequences of those rolls.
And just
What-
before you get to that portion, just like I'm trying to take it like piecemeal, like forest or path, because you guys have, I know people have abilities that affect traveling through forest or traveling through path.
Regardless of which one we travel through, if I roll, I add +1, and if I roll well, I can ask Colin 2 questions about the clearing based off of my previous knowledge of the place.
Nice.
Oh, awesome. I think it makes sense what Bex said of traveling maybe through the forest instead of the path. To try to avoid the people that might be after you, Z. But-
Works for me.
What does everyone else think?
I think if we're working with a unit as small and as cohesive as this one claims to be, I think we could do a whole heck of a lot worse than by traveling small and safe. I think it's a good call, all things considered. I'd rather go through the woods.
Yeah, I'm down for the woods too. That's fine.
Perfect. Do you guys want to, and this is what Theo was talking about, so you can choose to move slowly and forage heavily. So everyone would clear 2 depletion. You guys would collectively mark an exhaustion for everybody, and you get a -1 to the roll. You can travel carefully. You would collectively, as a group, mark 1 depletion or exhaustion for each member, and you would get a +1 to the roll. Or you can travel as quickly as possible. Everyone will mark an exhaustion and a depletion. You get a +2 to the roll.
I believe we should let that discretion up to our Harrier. All things considered, she's got far more experience in this than we do.
I tend to be quite quick because I work on my own. I'm not used to running in a group. I say we go careful. I don't think we need to forage that much. We've stocked up a lot while we were here.
Agreed.
I'll tell you this though, anyone gets distracted, sidetracked, lost, you're on your own. So that's out of character. That would give us +2 overall with my extra +1.
Yes. Yep.
And we'd only have to mark 1 box, and we get to pick individually exhaustion or depletion.
Yes, and you don't have to spread that equally. So there's 6 people traveling. Z will mark for himself, but there's 6 party members traveling. So you could choose to, if you wanted to, put 4 depletion on Cal and put 2 exhaustion on Duncan. However you want to spread it out, you can.
Why are we doing? I thought we were doing safely and quickly.
I think you're doing carefully through the forest. Band collectively marks 1 depletion or exhaustion for each band member. So you can pick either.
I'm sorry, I was looking at the path. That's why. Okay.
So you can roll, or you would get a plus.
No, I'm with you. I'm on the right one. Yep.
Yeah, +2 to the roll would be the total. And then you'd have to mark overall 6 boxes of either exhaustion or depletion. So you guys can pick how to divvy that out and what gets marked. But yeah.
I got an extra box of exhaustion. I can mark 2 exhaustion. Because I can clear that fairly easily once we get there. And it'd be more useful for some of the more combat ready or resourceful members to have their boxes free.
Okay, so I got 2 boxes from Bex. I need 4 more.
I will mark an exhaustion.
I'll do a depletion.
I can also do an exhaustion if needed.
So
Yeah, so
Sanvi
the
would only
41
need to do 1.
Yeah, Sanvi only needs to do 1.
Yeah.
Sanvi, do you want to mark exhaustion or depletion?
Oh, sorry. Can I mark depletion?
Yeah. Cool. Perfect. So yeah, that covers it there. And then Bex, go ahead and give the roll. +2.
Someone blowing it for luck because I've not been rolling well. Thank you, Megan.
What should be a terrible number? No.
Overall, 13.
Yay!
Nice.
I rolled a 6 and a 5.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I've been rolling like 4s in D&D and 3s in this for like weeks.
I did. I thought you were gonna tell me you rolled a 1 and a 1.
I also thought it was going to be like a 3 or a 5 or something. I was like, oh, this is going to be bad.
Oh my god, it worked, and oh my god, it didn't work face are the exact same. And I have just found this out.
Noted.
I love it. Yeah, you guys travel mostly unimpaired through the forest. Things seem to be pretty peaceful. You see a couple of bird people that fly overhead and give you some nice happy chirps. A couple of frog folks in like a little makeshift swamp village are hanging out, but everyone seems pretty chill today. And so you guys are going to reach Blackpaw's wall perfectly fine. And then Bex, I believe you get to ask questions or something with your ability, right? Because
I get to ask you 2 questions as DM.
Yeah.
Except I, as a player, know jack shit and don't know what to ask. Because do you know what? Fuck it, I'm a fucking mess. Blackpaw.
I could just give you 2 pieces of information that I think Redbeckia might know based on previous missions.
As a control freak, that horrifies me, but yes, I'm desperate.
You're welcome to ask them as well. I don't. It's fine either way to me.
I already know from Ursa that a bridge has been made over the water.
That's in Patchwood.
Patchwood.
That's from Patchwood to Fire Hollow. So that's in like the middle of the map, which would be like east of where Wind Gap Refuge is.
Okay. Yeah, so in this, all I've done is smuggled a few things here. That's it. So yeah, just tell me whatever you want.
Yeah. So you definitely know like the brief history of Blackpaw's Wall. Some say that the Blackpaw's Wall used scare tactics to dissuade attackers, would like set up fake like mannequins of rats in the wilderness to make it look like there were more people there than there were, so that he could get the wall built. And that gave him time to utilize his soldiers as, construction workers and essentially laborers, and was able to construct this wall under the, pretense that he had a huge force, which eventually led to him having a huge force there. But people are unsure as to why, the Lord of the Hundreds was forced out of here. You would also know about a couple of the different landmarks here. So there is the larder, which is like a storehouse that sits in the very center of the town. It never runs out of food, but whoever eats the food that is there gets incredibly sick for weeks and weeks and weeks, and nobody knows why. And then you would, of course, know about the butcher. There is a butcher there, which is an odd thing to have in the woodland, seeing as there are very few meats. But Dodson contests people and says that he gets his meat from bears and moose, which you guys would know are not like humanized animals here in the woodland. They're like, moose are like what would be like dragons in D&D, and bears would be like, I don't know, we could just say they're like bears in real life if you want, but they're
an
like,
even worse dragon.
An even worse dragon.
Because like a bear can break a moose's back in like one shot. So
I think moose are actually far stronger.
I think they're more aggressive. I think bears eat moose though.
Yeah, they definitely do. They definitely do eat moose
for the children,
for sure. But anyways, yes, so there is, you would also know of the local butcher in town who claims that he gets his meat from local animals that are actually animals in the surrounding woodland.
Sweet.
Cool. Yeah, so you guys approach what appears to be like a giant looming sprawling wall that is spanning its way to the distance, and it loses itself in your periphery as it extends beyond. As you approach it, you can see that there's like dark ebony stonework, like lots of reds and grays and blacks. And the wall is taller than most of any trees you've ever seen. and there do not appear to be any, external guards or anybody standing outside. And there is a large gap in the middle with a wooden door that is, on like a pulley system, but is currently down, showing you the inside of the town, which seems very, very busy. And you can see species of all kinds moving about through there. So that's what you guys get on a first glance.
Let's go.
Cool. You guys enter the town. This is a much, much, much bigger clearing than Wind Gap Refuge. Like 4 to 5 times the size. There's hustle and bustle, a city environment, and you would notice that pretty much every person you see here that isn't in some kind of faction armor, all of the denizens here, are either injured, tired, bedraggled, or all three. They seem to be moving about like only on their own willpower, and it doesn't look like very many people are happy here. But yeah, you guys can feel free to ask any of the denizens questions. Feel free to let me know if you guys are looking for anything specific. But yeah, Sambi?
Can I roll with charm and use adoring fans to see if anybody recognizes me?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead and give me that roll of charm.
It will be an 8.
Can I was gonna ask if I can aid, but I don't think aiding would do anything, right?
I don't think you can help on adoring fans, but I don't think so. Okay. You got an 8?
Yes.
Okay. On an 8, there is this like very petite looking pig that makes their way up to you and just kind of like pulls on your robe and looks up at you.
Are you zombie?
I'll squat down to meet the pig's gaze and nod. Yes, that's me. What's your name?
People call me Porpoise.
Porpoise? I've never met anyone with that name before.
It was my mom's name.
Where's your mom now?
She's at home. I've heard so much of your music. You could stay with us tonight if you want. Or I could show you around.
Oh my gosh. I think we would love that. I'm gonna go talk to my friends and we'll see about taking you up on your offer. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay.
And she just looks like awestruck and just kind of like puts her head down shyly and kind of like tugs at her clothes and then just waits for you to chat with your group.
This place is sad. Reminds me of a lot of awful places I've been to in my life. It's a work camp if ever there was one. And how could they have these people? Most of them wounded, lost legs everywhere. It's not a good place at all.
Do I no one expect the Woodland Alliance leader to live here?
I just expected there to be something. I mean it, this is sad.
What is the ratio that we see between injured Denzites and then people in faction armor, and do I recognize faction armor or faction?
Yeah, so it's mostly denizens. It's mostly denizens here. You don't see any like Woodland Alliance colors, banners, those things would not be, visible. You do see like a handful of lizards that are dressed in, different types of religious garb that are sort of preaching to folks in like a little town square, sort of off to the right hand side. And then you would also see a few of the I don't know if you would recognize them necessarily, but you see a group of moles that are sort of surrounding one of the buildings, and they all have the same colors and like bannerments on their clothing.
Okay.
Is Z still with us, or did he go off on wherever he was going to?
No, he's still with you guys.
Moles, eh? Fine sappers. Not bad soldiers either. Hardy little buggers.
What's the next task, Z?
Well, I'd love to take you to meet Ferv. I think that would be the first thing to do. If you've got other plans, I can certainly meet up with you later, but thought that might be prevalent since we're here.
I'd like to meet your leader. I'd like to ask him some questions about this place.
Me too.
Sure. Should we?
Nah, fine.
That's good with me. Does everybody want to go?
After, we have a place to stay with our cute little pig friend, if you guys want.
we
Oh,
got a
that's
cute little-
great.
The pig sort of like overhears this conversation and like waddles over and again tugs at Sanvi.
Are you coming?
Yeah, we're gonna go someplace first, but then I'm sure we would be happy to rest at your home and meet your mother.
Okay.
Is there a place that we can meet you later?
We live just next to the larder.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Bye. Eee!
And then she like runs off.
Did she say she lived next to the larder?
Yeah.
I'm asking somebody.
That's what I'm wincing at.
What? Is there something wrong with that?
The irony of a
Don't eat anything if it's offered to you, unless I give you the nod.
A larder's where you keep food, Sanvi, especially in places like this where there's a siege. And I fought with pigs once. We had them as mercenaries. You ever meet a full-grown pig?
I don't think so.
They'll eat anything, and I do mean anything, including their own dead.
Duncan, that's not nice.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, don't say.
No, I do say. Just most pigs can. Some pigs can be nice. Just pigs next to a ladder's puts me a little at ease, or ill at ease, I should say.
Rebecca takes Zombie to one side and just whispers, like, the larder's full of food, but anyone who eats it ends up sick. It's not there for the people. It's there to make sure that if anybody did invade, they'd all die. The fact that she lives there has nothing to do with the fact that she's a pig. It just might mean the food's tainted. Just be careful.
Oh my gosh, I never knew that. Thank you so much.
What better people to put over a stock of tainted food than the people who could eat anything and not die?
Duncan, you don't hear that
I
conversation.
know.
But yes, Z will lead you through the crowded streets and the hustle and bustle of, again, a multitude of different species that are here. Yeah, Cal?
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. It was just whilst the party was like walking through, would Cal be able to do some sort of like check to look around and see if she recognizes any of her family possibly being here?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a roll of cunning.
Please. That's 10.
10. Yeah, you see not necessarily members of your family, but you do see that there's like a small pack of deer off to the one side that appear to be like trying to peddle their wares. There are like a number of different jeweled items, a number of different like bracers and necklaces and brooches that they are, trying to yell and sell to the masses here.
Are they quite far away from the group?
No, everything's kind of like it's almost like New York City, like everything is just kind of all in, like there's store, just people moving all around. So no, they're not very far away from you.
I think like I'll kind of like tentatively glance between the deer and the group, and then the deer and the group again, then just like quickly hurry over to where the deer are and just be like, excuse me, sorry.
This massive deer turns to you. What you need?
I was actually just going to ask if you'd seen any other deer passing through, potentially my family. I'm looking for them.
Where do you come from?
Lindera Lot. It's a clearing near Ice Trap, up in the mountains.
Ah, Lindera Lot. Yeah, I know a couple of deer from there.
You do?
I do.
Have you seen any here?
Sure, in passing. I can't tell you where they are now, but you look hard enough, you'll find some here.
Okay. Well, that's probably the first actually good lead I've had in a while. Thank you. How long ago did you see them?
I see a few every day. You hang out here long enough, you'll see one passing in the streets. And hey, there's a pretty cool community of deer that's just outside of here, just outside the wall on the north side. It's not the safest encampment, what with the badgers running amok, but it's ours.
Were any of the deer that you saw carrying like scaffolding supplies or like construction wares?
I can't be too sure. I just try and peddle the wares.
I understand. Thank you. And then Cal just reluctantly like head back to the group.
Sure. Hope to see you soon. He'll just give you a polite little wave. Cool. Cal rejoins the group. Is there anything else anybody wants to do? You guys have seen, again, some lizards hanging out, the moles, the deer group, and the pig. Cool. Z leads you through like crowded streets, the hustle and bustle of corridors. You get to what seemed like more of the maybe not upper echelon, but like the nicer part of the city is actually where you guys entered through. And things become much more slum-like as you get to the north side of Blackpaw's wall. As you enter one of the alleyways, you can see that there's like a little slit on a door on that alleyway. And Z will walk up to it and give like a very, very specific knock, and the little slit pops open. Huh? What you need? Hi there, Connie. It's me. I'm back. It's good to be back. See? And the slit, slams closed, whips open, and there's this crazy looking monkey with like an eye patch on. They have like all kinds of different stuff in this backpack that is way too big for them. And they'll look at you and say, "Wow, you brought friends? Okay, cool. Good to see you, Z. My name's Connie. Come on in. Connie, talked about this. You can't keep letting people in so quickly. Right, but it's you." And then the monkey will just like turn around and start sprinting into the other direction as a number of different items start to fall out of their satchel as they run. But you guys can see. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I pick them up?
You certainly can if you would like to.
I want to pick up the things that dropped out. I want to steal shit.
They are in plain sight, just so you know.
Yeah, but are they looking?
Let me just set the scene for you as well. As you look into the room, there are like 5 or 6 different figures that are all like seated around a table. There is one it's just one little room, and then you can see a staircase at the very back. And Connie is running through and then up that staircase. But there are, again, like 4 figures that are sitting around a table doing their thing as the items clatter. Some of them look up and just shake their heads and then go back to whatever they were doing. But okay, now you are more than welcome to steal shit if you want to steal shit. Just want to let you know there are people in there.
And I rolled a 10.
Okay.
And I'm expecting them to be very used to things falling out of this monkey's backpack, and so they wouldn't really be paying much attention. And I'm just like, "Oh, what's this? You dropped it. Oh, that's mine now."
Yeah, so the 4 people that are seated at the table do not see you as you scoop up one of these items here. I will say that it was a 10, not a 12, so I'll say that Z does see you scoop that item up. He doesn't say anything.
Do we see her steal this stuff?
Yeah, I think you guys definitely see her stealing this stuff. I think anybody that was at the doorway, like, just walked in and just, like, picked it up, right? Like, maybe the people seated didn't turn around or see you or hear you or acknowledge you, but everyone in the group definitely sees you reach down, pick this up, put it in your pocket. It looks like a stopwatch. It looks like a little like kind of gold gilded stopwatch with like a pretty silver chain that rings around it. And there's like a little picture of a ferret in there, and the ferret is holding like another ferret, and it looks like they're like doing like a bodybuilding press or something. So that's what you see. Clearly not the monkey's locket, like no family members of the monkey on there. And then Z will step through and address the other figures that are there. Gentlemen, you guys will see a mouse, a tiger, a ferret, and a mongoose that are all seated around this table.
Do I recognize anybody?
No, you would not. I don't think anybody knows any of these people.
A mouse, a tiger, a ferret. What?
A mouse, a tiger, a ferret, and a mongoose.
What's a mongoose?
I love mongooses. Like more cylindrical badges.
It's like a badger if badgers are weasels.
It's a long badger.
Yeah. So Z will walk up to these guys. Gentlemen, been a while, hasn't it? The mouse is the first one to like jump out of their seat, jumps up, gives Z a huge hug. Z, I can't believe it. You're alive. You fucking bastard. It's been too long, brother. He gives him a huge hug, and then addresses the rest of the party. Well, see you brought some friends. My name is Ferv. Thanks for joining me. I imagine if you are in with this lug, then you're probably pretty aware of me. What are your names?
Hi, Ferv. I'm Red.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And Duncan. My name's Duncan.
I'm Thelonious. It's nice to meet you, Ferv.
Likewise.
My name is Sandy. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I feel like Cal's just looking at the tiger very nervously. Just-
Rebecca holds her hand out. Hi, I'm Bex.
He gives you a very fervent handshake back. Yeah, it's so stupid. He gives you a fervent handshake back. Yeah. And then he will again address Z. Well, how did things go? Wingap must have been pretty well if you're here. Thanks to this bunch. Whatever happened with Ephraim? Do you lot know? Oh, I just mixed those accents there at the end.
Yeah, who was asking who?
That's Z asking you.
Oh, is he asking us? We didn't get him.
Yeah, he's still in general dentistry somewhere.
I checked general dentistry. I didn't see him.
Yeah, no, I think the dentistry. I think it was all cleared, but we didn't get him.
The last I saw Ephraim, he'd escaped. He was cresting the valley. But he's long gone.
Aye. What which way was he going?
North?
Well, means he could be coming this way. Good. We'll be ready. And then the other figures at the table will stand up and address you all as well. The tiger is the first one to stand up, looks at Cal with like malice in his eyes, and like just like drooling. Hey there. Name Sabi. It's a pleasure to meet you. You look familiar there, little one.
Who me?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm one of the tallest here. I don't think I'm little.
You see he is like a massive figure, and everyone in the room, including Duncan, is little in comparison.
Yo, Stripey, back the fuck up.
I didn't say anything, just that she looked familiar.
Yeah, well, you're scaring her.
I apologize. I have a way of that.
And he sits back down, and as he sits, he's like eye level with the people in the room.
Is that better?
And he looks like kind of like almost like embarrassed by it, by like having scared Cal. He just like sits back down and looks sad, and he's like,
I'm sorry.
Duncan's gonna pat him on the shoulder. Yeah, it's all right, lad. Hard to contain that urge sometimes.
I have predator eyes. Sometimes just...
Okay, now I feel bad, dude. I'm sorry. I didn't know what you were trying to do.
No,
My friend
no.
was upset.
No, it's not your fault. It's mine.
I think Cal's pretty much just like, she's taken to like the furthest corner possible in the room and is just like nervously fidgeting with a gear. Like, she's not even tinkering, she's just got a gear on a screw and is just going like like a little fidget spinner.
Oh, honey.
Don't worry about that. It took her a while to warm up to us. Just, maybe wipe the saliva off your chin.
He like wipes it off like as quickly as he possibly can, and then he actually gets up and like runs back up the stairs, like in the direction that Connie went.
Poor lad.
Yeah, he just looks like super embarrassed, and like that's just his nature, kind of a thing, like oops. And Ferv will look at you all and just say, apologies. Well, he's not the best. But he is a strong fighter, and, well, he's one of my best mates. So, I apologize for anything that he might have done to offend, but I'm sure we can make it up in the interim. And Fervus, like, always has this, like, cheery, chipper smile on his face, just looks like he is a boisterous, like, optimistic individual through and through. But you can see multiple scars, like, going, from his cheek down all the way like over his neck, and like just on the back of his like shoulder and neck you can see another scar that's kind of aching there. Well, I imagine you're here to help if you're with Z. Is that right?
We only went as far as helping him get to here. What else is going on?
Apologies. I would have imagined that Z would have informed you prior, but maybe he thought you wouldn't take him if you knew. Anyhow, yes, so how do I put this? Blackpaw's wall has had quite a few changes in the last few weeks. The Marquis originally ruled here. The Duchy, the Mole people, came in and swept them away. Then we came in and we swept the Duchy away. And just recently, there have been multiple denizens coming up from Iron Vein that have turned the tide, and the denizens rule here, which we aren't opposed to, but it was our only clearing. So we were hoping to potentially take back rule, or go to another clearing and take rule there. The closest would be Iron Vein, which again is denizen ruled, and I'm not opposed to taking denizen ruled clearings, but I would also prefer to not, if it can be helped. To the east is Open Sky Haven, the Irie control.
From what I've heard, the company understands. Mostly what I think I know that you've been doing is trying to find strategic positions, fucking up cats.
As best we can. Sadly,
Okay.
The closest cats are in Underleaf, which we are not prepared to take, and we need a base of operations.
And you can't defend the wall.
We've lost control here.
It's not shocking.
You're
There's
not
2
going to
feet.
gain. You're not going to gain much control in Open Sky. That's the that's Irie territory.
Yes, we've heard of them making a new roost.
Yeah, What's the sticking point?
Any chance in you talking it out with the denizens in the ruled clearing? Not for nothing, not that I'm opposed to free denizen rule, but you could provide them with strength, legitimacy.
It's not a bad idea. What did you say your name was?
Duncan. I got a couple other ideas too with whoever your castellan is or whoever's in charge defending what little parts of this clearing you still have control over.
This clearing has been in turmoil for a long time.
Well, that's
There-
not shocking.
There's been 4 different rulers in the last 4 weeks.
Again, doesn't come as much of a shock. Place like this, you'd have to have at least a large number of people to defend it.
I swear.
Damn, Red. Sorry.
What did she say?
I gotta look at the chat now.
It's the UK. Oh,
It's the
UK. You get dunked on.
Huge yikes.
If
Listen.
someone here suggests a coalition, I'm
Listen.
leaving the call.
No, I just want Colin to pull back the rug and reveal that the marquee leader that's in charge of this entire place is a head of lettuce. That's what I
Oh
want.
my
I want it to be
gosh.
the lettuce that outlasted your prime minister meme. That's all that I desire.
Wow, that was epic. I'm sorry to cut you off, Duncan.
That's amazing. No, cut me off.
I'm
for that.
sorry for the distraction.
No, that
I'm
was,
not.
that was epic.
I'm sorry for the UK.
Not
We're
as sorry
sorry
as
for
we are for
ourselves.
Yeah.
you.
Ah, sorry, what was that? I can't hear the sound of my unadulterated freedom.
Semi-adulterated.
Semi-adult.
Says the man who could end up being represented by Dr. Oz.
Yeah, that's true.
A man who's not from Pennsylvania.
Quasi-freedom.
Emma's just here to throw elbows at everyone, and I'm kind of here for it right
He
now.
is not
my
pulling
gosh.
punches today.
Red woke up and chose violence.
Do me
That-
next.
that
Do
was
me
epic.
next.
Oh my god, no.
I
So
will if
good.
I have a chance.
Yes.
So fucking good.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
Okay, I'm sorry, Kyle. What were you saying? What's Duncan saying?
Well, listen, if we're gonna help you out, I'd like to know exactly what you've got stock in and what kind of resources you've got here. That would be helpful, first and foremost.
Sure. Well, we've got the people you see here, and he like gestures to the people in the room. Connie is upstairs, of course, as you know, and we've got probably 4 or 5 other chapter houses that are similar to this one, with roughly the same amount of people that are in them. So I'd say we've got 20 to 30 mercenaries. But I would also tell you that the way that we work, 20 to 30 is far more than enough to take a clearing. We
But
held
not
it.
enough to hold the wall.
Correct.
You lack manpower. And as good of a guerrilla fort as it is, it only works if you move from place to place.
That's what we know.
Who's in charge of the denizens now?
I'm not entirely sure who they put in charge at the moment. The leaders in Iron Vein created an entire system there. They have democratic rule, they have universities, they have education. They're really doing quite well, and so close to Underleaf. People from that clearing, emissaries, were sent to the north to try and spread away from Underleaf.
I'm thinking about this clearing here, the one that the denizens just captured. The ones that just ousted you.
Yeah, they're from Iron Vein. They're
Okay.
I don't know who they are just yet.
Okay.
But
I can find out for you.
that would be fantastic. We
Yeah, I'm expensive though.
Well, lucky for you, we do have coin.
No, I deal in information.
We have that as well.
But what you're telling me, Z, is that those who came in outside of here, they have a great system, and in here they've just arrived. But
Yes, and
we can make guesses as to what they'd like to achieve.
I imagine they want to replicate it. Yes.
Seems like a thing worth replicating, don't you think?
I agree, which is why I have reservations as to taking Blackpaw's wall back. But we need a base of operations, lest the Marquis gets strong enough to take back Iron Vein and then move further north. Whether that's here or somewhere else, we don't know yet. That's what we're discussing at the moment.
It seems like it might be worthwhile. Maybe Bex can help out. Find out who is in charge over there. Find out what they need and what they want. Let's see if there's a way that this can be symbiotic.
I agree.
Well, I'm fully invested.
I appreciate it. He again gives you like the same optimistic, cheery smile. He will then look at the rest of the group. Do any of you have thoughts? Things that we could do better? I know this is strange, and I know we don't know each other in any capacity, but I have to imagine that if you came here with Z, you've got some stake in this claim, and you're a trustworthy lot. It's how the Alliance operates. We wouldn't bring people in that weren't trustworthy.
Verv,
Well,
I'm wondering about. There are a lot of sick and injured looking people and tired looking people. Is that because of these changes in leadership and the battles and things going on?
In part, yes. That larder was originally built by the Marquis, and they had normal food in it for the longest time. It wasn't until the Duchy came in that it began to make people sick. My theory is that the Duchy have been poisoning it for as long as can be remembered. And since the Marquis fall here, the Duchy are still present. And while they don't rule the clearing, they do have enough forces to make them dangerous, and then certainly enough forces, given the way that the Duchy operate, to be able to poison that larder. I don't know for certain if that's true, but that's my theory.
It just doesn't seem right to destroy people's food.
I imagine it's a tactic to oust anyone that is unaware that that food is tainted.
You guys ever heard of the legend of the well?
No.
I don't think so.
This great lord ruled over his kingdom. And Rebecca starts to sort of relax a bit. And you can tell she's repeating this as like a story she's been told as a child. Kind of like this air of wonder about it, as if it's some sort of sacred story. And he ruled over his kingdom with an iron fist, but the people still didn't obey him. So one day, he poisoned the well. The well provided water for the entire town. Everyone drank from it, and everyone was sick. They were afraid and they were dying. Then the Lord offered them a cure, a way to eradicate disease, cleanse the water, and make well the sick. After that, no one questioned his rule. This place is run on fear. This place is run on a desire to keep everyone else under the thumb and everyone outside. You control the food, you control the water, you control the people, and they can't come at you because that means they're killing themselves.
Well said. And a more likely cause than I wish were true. I think somebody is trying to poison people to get them out of here.
Thelonious is just like entirely wide-eyed at Rebecca, and then catches himself and gets stiff and stern again.
I I know that there's been a lot of negative things being said, but I promise you, Blackpaw's Wall is a nice place, and the Woodland Alliance are nice. And Z is kind of like trying to backpedal himself out of this, like talking about the larder. Yeah, I think one idea might be to gain some intelligence and find out who the powers are here. People that might be poisoning the larder is another option. But I myself am going to go join Connie and get a few things around and do a bit of investigating myself. But I want to thank you all for escorting me.
You're welcome, Z.
He looks at you again, Red. It's been a pleasure. I can't wait for more adventures.
Indeed. I'm glad that you're here, I guess.
He just gives you a nod and begins to lumber his way up the steps. So you guys are
Fucking idiots.
still in this little corner room here with Z has gone upstairs as well as Connie and the tiger. But Ferb the mouse is still here with you guys. Has explained to you that the denizens have taken over here. He's not sure who's in charge or what exactly they're trying to do, and has explained about the larder. What other questions might you guys have? What plans are you guys making? And feel free to take time if you need character asides and all that good stuff as well.
Out of character, I really want the pig's dad or mom to be like one of the mercenaries I used to work with.
Hey,
Show
who
him,
knows?
just show him and be like, friend.
Brother.
It's that scene from Predator. No, look at that, you've been pushing too many pencils. No.
Wow.
No.
Give him the job.
So stupid. So fucking dumb. It's
I love it.
One brain cell just ping-ponging endlessly between two people.
Yes. Absolutely factual.
It is, though. Oh, I'm sorry for interrupting. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for coming to my dead talk.
Your dead talk?
Yeah, you heard me. These people are dead in the larder.
It's true.
I'll see myself out. Thank you.
There's zombies in the larder.
Bye, everyone.
Jesus.
Larder zombies.
Does
Actually is terrifying.
Does anyone have any questions for if he's just hanging out here, just kind of looking at you all, like, well, any thoughts?
Well, I, for one, would want to find a way to help these denizens get better. And if that's through the Woodland Alliance taking over and maybe beating back whatever is poisoning the larder, I want to help out.
I think it also does make some amount of sense. I mean, not just for your own tactical considerations, but, I mean, truthfully speaking, if you're going to wind up wanting to hold this position, then the correct play to do would be to have the rest of the denizens give you the manpower you need. In exchange, you can give them help. Tactical acumen. Weapons. Something.
It sounds like there's still a question of like who would be in charge. And it seems like the denizens have fought pretty hard to get this. They could lose it pretty hard too. But if I'm hearing you correctly, you don't necessarily need to be in charge. You just need the space and the permission and cohesiveness.
That's
Am I understanding you correctly?
pretty much spot on. Yeah. We don't necessarily need to rule, just need to find a way to protect the denizens that are here. The ones in Iron Vein are smart enough and learned enough to make their own way, but the ones here, they're not there yet. And there are too many other factions that are still in play. If we can help.
Is there anything about your cause that is in conflict with what they want?
I would say the only conflict is that once we set things up here, we will leave. And we will leave them to their own devices. It's not kind, but once this place is set up, there's nothing for us to do.
I think, in my mind, the thing to do is to find out what it is that they're needing and they're saying that they need, and see where we have overlaps.
I think that sounds good. I can go with you. Z can go with you. You can take any amount of men that you'd like. I would request that at least somebody from my party attends. Who that is can be up to you.
Why is that?
Well, the information is for the Woodland Alliance, and so at least one of us should go to make sure that you are truthful. I'm not saying I don't trust you. You were brought in by Z, and that means a great deal. But it would make me feel more comfortable if one of my people was there.
Makes sense. You're commanding the operation. You'd like to know.
But I think I'd like to persuade.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I hear you, right? It just seems like an extra challenge if I'm going to try to go and behoove these worn out and newly naturalized people to talk and share with me when I have those who they just overthrown by my side.
They didn't overthrow us by force, if that helps.
Tell me more.
It's a political taking. They are able to convince the denizens to band together, to create groups, and to essentially, through everything, stay strong in the face of adversity. It seems that the amount of turmoil here has actually caused people to become more stubborn than anyone can challenge, at least not through heavy military force. And the group that came up here from Iron Vein was able to take those individuals who had that stubborn feeling, put them into groups, and use their talents in ways that are democratic in nature. It was not a military takeover. And like I said, we're a small regiment, and we, if given the option, would prefer not to have denizen casualties. And if the clearing is run by the denizens and things are fine, then that's great. And if we have to set off a bomb in another clearing to ensure that that clearing will be safe for the good of the many, then we will do that as well. But if the denizens come in and are able to band together, there's nothing for us to do but hear them out. However, I know that there are multiple presences here. I know that the Duchy are here. I know that the Lizard Cult is professing whatever they're talking about. Eventually, something will turn. And if I'm here, I can prevent that from happening.
I want to roll on that persuade so bad, but I've been persuaded.
You can still roll on it if you want. I can give you more information, but I mean, I'll just tell you, he is like earnest in what he says.
Yeah, no, I'm not figuring out. I trust that he's being earnest. I'm talking to
Ferb.
So if one of you come with us, which I'm not against, it's not about hiding. What do you think the impact of that in different conversations will be to have someone by our side? How will others take us, seeing and knowing that a Woodland Alliance is in the conversation?
I don't think it'll change things for better or for worse.
And especially if we have Z, because Z's been out of town. Maybe they don't know him.
Z is a friendly figure, and as I'm sure you know, the face of the Woodland Alliance. There are many.
I guess so.
Yeah, there are many people that truly enjoy Z's presence. That's why we have him as the face.
Maybe somebody else. Because you're making some really good points here. There's a lot going on, and I can go out there we can go out there, the fishing net and just pick up whatever swims in. But if somebody can be there to also read a situation and help us frame our understanding as we move through conversations.
I mean, isn't that kind of Rebecca's whole job?
Bex, what do you think of this situation?
Oh no, you guys seem to have it fully figured out.
No, you're the expert.
I've sat here, like, I offered services. You didn't take it up on them. I don't care about your alliance. I mean, you pay well, but so do other people.
Duncan just very quietly elbows Rebecca.
Ferv looks.
Yeah, not gonna work.
Ferv looks at you, Bex, and like still has the same like candid smile on his face, and just says, "I apologize if I've insulted you. I, by no means, meant to do that."
No, no insult. I'm fine with all of this. If you guys have a different plan, that's cool with me.
I would still appreciate the reconnaissance and would still pay you handsomely for it.
Yeah, sure. Just who's running this thing? Nothing else?
As long as one of my people goes with you, I frankly don't care who runs it.
I think while that's happening...
They can show up, like, once I found them. I'm not gonna be slowed down by having someone tag along. Discretion and secrecy, kinda my jam.
Maybe it would be beneficial to send you along first to get the lay of the land and then have the welcoming committee approach accordingly.
Yeah, that works. Soon as I have a name, straight back here telling you myself. I'll see you in half an hour. And she bolts.
Ferb just looks like very confused at the rest of the party. Is she always like that?
She runs out of a lot of doors. Like a lot of doors. It's like a thing.
I hope she runs back in them as well.
She's pretty good at that too.
Fair enough.
Getting better anyway. Listen, while we're on the topic of things that need to be accomplished here, I do have some concerns with the defense. I'm interested in taking a look with you. While your agents or whoever you're sending with Rebecca, once she, ascertains exactly who it is that we need to discuss with it. While that's happening, I'd like to go over exactly what kind of manpower and resources you've got here. Sieges were kind of my thing for a while. He just kind of gestures to the armor. You seem like a well-traveled man. I'm guessing you might know what this is. And what that means about who I am. So...
he just looks at you and just like gives you a nod of knowing. I would appreciate your eloquence on these matters. And then he gestures to the table that they were all sitting around. This is the full map of Blackpaw's Wall, along with all of the locations, at least that we are aware of, in terms of the duchy regime, in terms of the lizard cult, and of course in terms of where we are as the Woodland Alliance. The denizens are brand new and currently mostly scattered as they were before. So we're unsure of exactly what that means, but for the time being, this is what we have, and I'm willing to share it all. If I could make a recommendation in terms of the agent that comes with you, I would not recommend sending Connie, and I would not recommend sending Sabi. Sabi is fairly formidable, and regardless of his passive natures, he is a kind soul. He still comes across rather aggressive to other denizens. Connie's just an asshole, let's be honest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I'm happy to send whoever you'd like. If you want Z, if you'd like, and he gestures to the other two at the table who have not introduced themselves and are still like chatting amongst one another, looking at the map, and like beads of sweat are like pouring down their foreheads as this whole conversation is going on. You can take one of these men as well.
Good. I'll let Rebecca or whoever else is running it decide which one of the men we'd like to take.
Bex is out of there.
When she gets back, I mean. But for what it's worth there, it's nice meeting a man who actually lives up to his scars.
Ah, I could say the same. And your armor. I can't say that I'm completely familiar with your people, but I know enough to know that you're dangerous.
Yeah. And I know enough to know that any man who smiles with scars like that's probably more dangerous than I am.
Only up here.
Well, that's where most battles are won anyway.
Well said.
In any case, I'll look forward to our chat. I'll leave the others. I'd like to grab. I'm gonna take. Duncan's just gonna go try to take the lay of the land before he wants to meet. He wants to kind of ascertain what things are like here for the common.
Oh, you cut out there for the what?
Oh, for the common folk. So he's gonna do that while everyone else is kind of working out what they would like to do.
Yeah.
So
Duncan also exits, begins meandering about Blackpaw's Ball. Yeah. What would the four of you like to do as you guys are the last four that are in there? I think we have Cal, Sanvi, Red, and Theo.
I mean, Cal hasn't really left the corner that she took residence in. She's still kind of just there, like she's calmer now that the tigers aren't in the room, but she's kind of just like, yeah, just keeping very quiet and out of the way.
You hear in the back of your head, Cal,
Master, why are we perched in this corner? Go forth, please.
and that's it. You don't hear anything else from it.
Theo hears that squeal and realizes the cow's in the corner, and he just kind of goes over and leans down against the wall and sits next to her, good foot between. You okay?
I don't know.
Go for a walk?
I think maybe a walk might. Yeah.
So we just go for a walk.
Nice. Yeah, the two of you exit and start to walk around town. Sanvi, Red, what are you guys doing?
Hey, Red, I don't know what you're up to, but I'm gonna do some exploring with Duncan.
Okay, yeah, better make sure he doesn't get badger napped again. Or drunken. Either of those. Probably try to keep him out of trouble.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna keep Duncan out of trouble.
Yeah, Sanvi, you rush out. You see Duncan's lumbering figure, and you're easily able to catch up to him. For looks at you, Red, and looks at the entire party just disappearing before his eyes, and is just like, "Is this commonplace?"
Actually, well, I've kind of only known all these folks for a couple of days.
How long have you known Z?
Oh, much longer than that. Yeah, he kind of brought me in on what you all were up to in Wind Gap Refuge. So
I've actually heard your name a few times in passing. I heard about the perhaps not so successful operation that occurred in Wind Gap, but I'm glad to see that you made it out unscathed, or at least relatively.
Made it out alive. And I don't know. I'm starting to think that that's about all we can hope for these days.
We're hoping to change that.
I would like to too. You know, all these wars going on. I don't know. It does give me hope to hear about Iron Vein, and that maybe there's a chance for regular denizens to just live their lives and not get caught up in everything.
It's unprecedented that we would have two clearings run by the denizens in the midst of all this. Truly, somebody smiles upon us. I don't know who that is, but whoever it is, I'm thankful. And we'll continue to do our best to make sure the woodland is a good place.
I'd like to help with that as much as I can. And Red will just sit down at the table and start talking with the ferret and the mongoose and just kind of hang out and wait for everybody to come back.
Cool. So, Red, you sit down at the table. The ferret and the mongoose turn to you and begin to address you. Everybody else is scattering in their various locations as we pan out on the hustle and bustle at Blackpaw's Wall. And that is where we will end our session for the night. We'll pick up next time here on Woodland. Yep. We'll pick up here next time on Rootless, a game of Woodland. Might right.